Wonderful. Hello. Welcome. Yeah, do say hello in the comments. Let me know you're watching. And if you're doodling along with us today, which is very much encouraged, you need a pen, some plain paper, and then I've said a pencil, and I can't remember what. Yes, a pencil. You'll need a pencil today, with a rubber if you're feeling that way inclined to be hesitant. That's fine. And also, if you've seen in my post this morning, if you've got a collection of stamps at home, so like the wooden block stamps or the clear stamps, any sort of images, if you do have that in your craft stash at home, do grab a handful, and we'll have a look through. I've got a stash of mine as well, and we're going to go through and have a look at what images are good to doodle and how to doodle different types of images. So yeah, that'd be fab for later on in the lesson. But we will start off with grid number 4 and have a look at these 4 doodles, which I realise I don't I haven't got names for, so we will have names by the end of these, I'm sure, by the end of this lesson. But yes, I'll just give it another minute or so, let people join in. I've got this is a worksheet, this grid 4. It is free to download from my website. So yes, if you want to do that and join something in and print it off, you're welcome to. Actually, I can just put that on. Let me just put the link on the comments. Bear with me. And we'll have a look at how to complete the worksheet. Go to see how quickly I can type my web link. I think I do it quite a lot. It's dellabydesign.co.uk and then /doodle with Della. Excellent. I'll add that on there. Hi Layla. This is how did it? Have you had a go at the kit from last week yet, Layla? I'm guessing you've had a pretty busy week, so maybe this weekend you might get some time. Have a look. All right then. Shall we get started? So what I'm going to do is going to run through these 4 doodles, just give you some tips on how to create them, and then for the grid system, if you've completed one before, you'll know that the idea is to fill these 4 squares in, and each square you're creating your own new doodle by taking the one above and the one to the side, and your own interpretation. There's no right answers, there's no wrong answers. Combining 2 of them together, and so for this one, for these 2, these 2, or if you want to take it the advanced level, is to combine these 2 and then combine the new doodle with the top doodle and then the new doodle, and then this one's a combination of all 4. But yes, it's up to you how you want to play. And yeah, so if you can take a picture of your grids and send them in, that would be fab, and I'll add them to my gallery on my website. And Leila says, not yet. I've been trying to find some time away from the family. Oh, that's your reason. So you've got homework to do and you need to do it. Go and do your go and complete your doodle card. That would be awesome. Alright then, so again, I've got these pens. You'll be used to these now, the Unipin pens. I start with my 0.2. And we'll start with this one at the top, which if you've got any name suggestions, do let me know. So this one, I'll start again. Always tilt the paper so that you've got a nice angle to your hand. So we start with the arches on this one. And it's like little M's, and you just keep going. This one, you might want to do some practice ones first, just so that you work out what your sort of consistent shape is, and then repeat them line after line after line. So you can take it slow or get quicker if you're feeling a bit more confident. But it doesn't matter if some of them are bigger or smaller. On the spaces. There we go. And then I think what I'll do is I'll switch to a smaller pen to add in the circles. You don't have to, you can carry on the same one, but it's a good opportunity to use the variation. So then each little arch that you've made, you add a little circle to it. So yeah, and this is a good doodle to switch off to, because once you've laid out all the where your doodle's going to go, all we've got to do is add circles, which is nice and relaxing. So yeah, so if we're putting the circle in each arch. Oh, I got carried away with my arches. I'll leave it at this row. Do you get the gist? Wonderful. And so the next one, have a look at. Let's see if I've got any suggestions. Yeah, so any name suggestions. I might have to put a post up on my page to ask for help on that. It's kind of like a frilly petticoats, or seems very fabricy. I'm not quite sure what to call it yet. And then we do this one, which is a bit of try not to say the word that came to mind is shouldn't be repeated this time of day. But like psychedelic, message of your eyes. It's a family show. So this one starts with quite random lines going across. Make them wavy. Just make sure I've got that in shot. Yeah. And then you don't have to try and copy the same shape. You can do. It doesn't have to be the same or opposite. It can be completely different. You can make them longer. Like that. Enough. So that's your baselines. And I think I will keep with the same pen. So for each one of these, I'm going to rotate the paper around again, which is really good when you're doodling. Unfortunately, it's not very good when you're doing a time lapse of a doodle, because the the paper goes round and round and round. And it gets can make it a bit dizzy on the time lapse. So for each column, now you've turned it round, you're going to draw lines that arch, a slight arch one way, and the next column is a slight arch the other way. It's quite subtle, and you don't necessarily see it, because I think it's the optical illusion of movement. But that's where it comes from. So let's do this one. And depending how much time you've got, you can do the lines quite close together, which just adds to the effect. So if you've got a bit of paper and you're doodling along with me for this one, unfortunately with the live video you can't add an image onto the comments. Apologies if you can hear my children screaming. I think it's happy screams. But yeah, if you can't add a picture on the comments, while the live video is happening. But once the video is finished and I've published it, you'll be able to add photos. So yeah, I'd love to see what doodles you've made during the lesson. So okay, so the second column, so you're switching the arch and doing upwards. So we're on lesson 4, and during this is because it's a Saturday, so during this time I never normally do live events when my children or family are in the house. So yeah, it's quite unusual. And so this is lesson 4, and definitely for the last 3 weeks, when they've heard that I'm going live on Facebook, literally they get to the other end of the house or other end of the garden, they don't want to be anywhere near it. They're like, no, get out of the way. So this is the first week that they've had the confidence to stay upstairs in their bedroom, which is next door. So we'll see how we get to week 8. I think they might be sitting on my lap. But we'll see how we get on. I think they're all going downstairs now. And so you're joking about getting time away from the family. This is a great way to do it. I've even got a box against the door to barricade the door, so they can't even push the door open. Okay, right. So yeah, so you don't need to. I think at some points mine have joined up like into one line, but that's not the intention. In fact, if they all joined up, then you'd lose the effect, I think. So don't worry about the lines joining up from one column to the next. Then experiment with spacing. Maybe have one spaced out more than the other. That might actually look quite cool. I'm intrigued. So yes, so that's this one. And then this one, which I am calling Kaplunk. And I've even suggested that we buy my son Kaplunk for his birthday, because I had one as a kid. I wonder whether my mum's still got it somewhere in the house. But I used to love playing it. And I think it'd be a great family game. They're just at the right age now. Have a little bit more control, not just knock all the marbles over. So yes, so Kaplunk starts with just one line across any which way, and then draw a parallel line to it. That's your first rod, and then basically you build up the doodle further and further away. So it is this doodle kind of like you can keep going with it, and it gets more and more difficult to draw the more you add to it. So yeah, so it's basically like take it as far as you're happy with. Once it gets too difficult, then you can stop. So the first one's nice and easy, and then pick up another direction. So always try and change the direction, and draw another line. Miss that top line, and draw underneath. Yeah. I've done this quite narrow, so you might want to do slightly thicker. I've made it quite difficult for myself. So do that direction, and then just pick another direction. Try and avoid hitting the joins, just because it's just more difficult to get a straight looking line from one side to another of a join. But if you come over to this side, and if I hold a ruler up to that, it's not straight. It just gives that indication of it. But if you wanted to, you could use a ruler and then draw along the ruler and just miss out where those intersections are. Ones that I'm going to come across here. It's also like if you draw one line first and then bring up the second line, because I wasn't sure for this one. Sorry, actually, you can still see that. I wasn't sure for this one when I started over here whether I wanted the rod to be this side or this side. But now that I've got so close to that one there, I'm going to go this way. And then there's a good so you see, the further you get, the more intersections there are, so the more difficult it becomes. And I think one more. I kind of want to go across that way. I might actually come across here instead. There we go. So yeah, so you can. Oh, it feels a bit unbalanced now. I'm going to put one more in. Change my mind. There we go. That's our kaplunk. Don't need to draw the marbles on. And oh, just hear your messages. Oh, those had to go. That's not a problem yet. You can watch the replay anytime. And yes, that doesn't sound fun. Remote control car. Awesome. Right, so we've got one more doodle left in this section. So this one I feel like is like window shutters. Like this one. So this one starts off with bunches of 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, which for me is confusing for some reason. I have to check every time because I have drawn this doodle out and then gone, I did 5 lines or I did 3 lines. But yeah, so keeping a nice straight line. So we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then leave a gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, leave a gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then the next step I do is switch to a thicker pen. 0.8. And then you're going to fill in between the 2 centre lines. Colour that in black. So these can all be, doesn't matter how much distance. If you're experimenting with changing the doodle, then you might want to make this middle section smaller. But to start with, I'm just doing, they're all the same width from each other. I'll just do one more. There we go. I'll just leave that last one. And then for the in-between, we're going to rotate the paper again so it's a nice comfortable position, and just draw straight lines quite close together. I'm going to turn this paper all the way around to do this one, because it's easier to draw from a line than it is drawing to a line. Although this is quite an artificial scenario because I'm drawing a doodle onto nothing, whereas normally you'd have it within a shape, which is what we all kind of want to. Just a sec. So there we go, that's our 4 doodles for grid 4. Some fabulous work combining them this week. I've picked out a doodle I would like to have a go that was created by Helen this week, and I'm going to add it to Hope. I'll do that now, I think, and then I'll talk to you about the stamps. So this is Hope, if you've not met her before. I'll see, hold it this side so you can see her face. So she's like half a portrait there. That's it. And then this is all her hair in curls. So I think the curls are starting to come out, but whether you can see the pencil line there to see the big swirls and curls of hair. So let me just take this, find the doodle that I want to copy. So this is Helen's grid. Hopefully you can see that okay. So this is the one that I want to combine. So I think she has, there's kind of, I think there is elements of all 4 doodles apart from the lattice one, but yeah, I like that. So let's pick a chunk of hope. A chunk of hope, that's a weird phrase, isn't it? Let's do, no, that's a long one. Ooh. I should pick these out before I start the live video. Apologies. Okay, I'm going to do this section here. Hopefully that's shot for you. Move it up a little bit so you can see. It's only small, so I might draw it quite small. So what I'm looking for is I'm trying to avoid similar types of patterns. I might do this one actually. Types of patterns next to each other, so I'm a bit worried that that's going to look very linear like that one. So let's shift focus. I'm going to do this little one here. So I'm going to start off by drawing the wavy lines. Okay, and now let's switch to smaller pen, I think. So I've drawn it quite small, and I'm going to add the little circles. On the edge. Let's check that you can see that okay. Ooh. Okay, and I can spot the deliberate mistake I just made. Okay, I'm going to carry on with what it should be and have a think about how I can adapt it in. Okay, because that row there wasn't meant to have circles. So I'm going to, it's going to make it very small. I'm going to add circles to all of them. Remember from last week, some water. One of the first bits of advice if you make a mistake, that's in inverted commas, if you make a mistake, so doodling is what you want to do. So a mistake is that bit is to make the mistake again, is to repeat the mistake, and just change the doodle. So what I'm going to change it to is I'm going to add lines on this side. I'll fill this all in. So I'll do this doodle now, and then after this lesson, some point this weekend, not sure when yet, I will set up the camera again to film a time lapse of me adding more doodles on, and I might even try and come back and do that doodle somewhere else. Actually, what I will do is just add, so I really like about the doodle is that the occasional thick line, I think it adds a real interest to it, so I'm going to do that. Reminds me of like meter sticks, like the little dashes and dashes, and then I'm just going to add, where it's a bit thick, I'm going to add some thicker bits to the curve as well. There we go. Oh, now it's turned into piano keys, like floating piano keys. Oh, that's an exciting doodle. I know it's very small on there. I'm not sure how well you can see it. So I might take a close up of that to put in the comments afterwards. That's exciting. Right, let me just get back to in here. Wow. Oh, so come back onto the live video. Oh, are you still there, Helen? Your ears must have been burning. We've just tried to recreate the doodle you sent in on your grid 4, although I made a mistake, so I had to adapt it into a new doodle. But we're very new. It's an homage to you. Wonderful. So that's Hope. So I will add to Hope later on this weekend, and include it on the time-lapse video from start to finish, which is exciting. So what I want to look at today is using stamps and other images to add doodles to. So I've got a few examples here, which I want to just show you. Helen's here now. Hello. We've been talking about you, Helen, so you have to go back and watch the rest. Go watch the replay. So yes, these are my elephants. Aren't they cute? So if I can hold it up a bit closer, it will get focused. So this one's got little circles on. This one's got a hash, a random hash. We did quite the metal grid one we did last week. It's quite uniform. This is all mix and match, and then spiral cluster on there as well, which we did last week. So that is just a stamp of the outline of 3 elephants. It's a very cute stamp. And I've added the doodles onto that one. I also want to show you. There's some stamps I have that are letters. I'm going to assume this spells out James. So I've got stamps that are just big letters. Okay. So what I've done with these is I've actually, so the same way we did the sample grid, the sampler last week, where we had a square image and we used pencil lines to break it all up. I've done that, but with these letter stamps. So within this, actually I think I've got the stamps to hand, so I'll show you those in a minute. Broken them all up and then added a doodle to each of them. I did that all on a flat piece of card and then cut them out afterwards. It's very fiddly to try and doodle on something that's small and moves over on you. And then another example, this one up here. So this one is a stamp of the pots and the plants. So all the pots were plain white, if you can see, and so I've added the doodles to each of the pots. And then this one's quite a different one. I haven't finished this one. I found it in my stash of unfinished projects. Yeah, it's going to be a labour of love. So I've got the butterfly stamp image in the middle, and what I've done is I've drawn a sort of bubble line around it, and then I've done the sort of sampler style lines in pen this time, not pencil, around, and then adding a doodle to each of the sections. So yes, I might get around to finishing that. That would look quite striking with the white butterflies in the middle. So these are basically, I'm trying to show different ways of using the stamps. I'll try and categorise them into different ways. So you'll have stamps that have sort of an open image that you can just doodle one doodle across each elephant like that, or you'll have stamps that have got such a big area that it's worth dividing it up into sections to add the doodles. Now the pots is a special example which does work really well, is to have small shapes that you can doodle in total, but it's quite subtle, as you might see, but the what I've done is the doodles are shaped to fit the object that they're showing. So these brick grid in there, all the lines are curved to follow the curve of the pot, so you're adding to the depth of the image, which is always really quite exciting to do. Let me have a look at these stamps. I can pick out some examples for you. I was going to put these under there, but it's going to be so. I know the autofocus is pretty sort of dizzying, isn't it? So I'll put some down here. So let me just go through some of these. Lots of ones aren't suitable, so you're looking for ones that have got nice big open sections that have an outline in this section. Here are the letters. And this one so you can see. So these letters, so they're big open outlines, so they work really well. Letters. That's quite a small scale, but potentially could work with like the bells. This one's got a large. Difficult to see these ones. This one's got large petal shapes. Flowers are going to be good if you've got large flowers to doodle in the flowers. Ooh, teapots. to do with the teapots. That sounds good. So they've already got some doodles on them already. But you could add to those. Oh, a nice Christmassy one there. They're potentially it's snowman. Oh, this would be a nice one. Got a dress. Oh, what, mannequin. Nice and open. Oh, here's the elephants. So that's what the elephants start as. Yeah, it's nice going through stamps and just considering them in a new light of what you could create with them, which is quite fun. And so if you want to add colour to them, like the pots, or if you can colour in the flowers, or you can add colour behind the doodles as well, so you still got a colourful image. But yes, do have a go if you've got some suitable ones that you can find in your selection. And so if you haven't got any stamps or you don't find ones that are suitable, another great source of things to find is children's colouring books. I find the adult colouring books, the sections are already too small to add doodles, but the children's colouring books, potentially you'll be able to divide up big sections or doodle in each section, which can make some really striking images. Or a good old Google image search, you might stumble across something on there. So what I would recommend is searching for whatever the thing is. So unicorns or flowers, or a particular flower. If you've got something, like if you've got a friend's favourite flower is snowdrops, that kind of thing, and then doodle that plus colouring sheets, which then just gives you a Google Images will return a whole load of black and white images, and have a look at those and see if you can find something you like that you can print off at home, and add your doodles on that way. But yeah, do let me know what ideas you have, or if you've got an idea but you don't know where you can find the image, do give me a shout and I'm happy to help you look. I always like to be involved in a creative journey like that. That'd be fun. So yes, have a wonderful week. I think I've gone way over my half hour today. I apologise. And we'll be back with lesson 5 next Saturday, and grid number 5 will be going up on Monday morning at 9 o'clock. And what I will do is add, I think lesson 5 is on Facebook as an event, but I will go and add lessons 6, 7 and 8 shortly, so you can RSVP to those and it will pop up in your reminders. And then don't forget our graduation party. So on the 8 lessons takes us up to June the 13th, and that's a Saturday, and I'm intending on that being a little celebration. Wonderful. That's live is hanging in not up to your speed. Ooh, glad you went over, or I'd have missed you. Yay. Okay, wonderful, Helen. If you want to rewatch the replay at your leisure, you can, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.